Good morning, everyone. As you know, are studying about chapter reproduction in plants. Okay, and we have already studied about the classification of reproduction or type of reproduction. So, yesterday we have learned about sexual reproduction in plants. Today, and today we'll start the reproductive parts of a flower. Okay, as I make you told yesterday that only sexual part found in flower of the plant. Okay, so what are that reproductive parts of flower we will study today. So reproductive organ in flowering parts, this is a flower. Okay, and in flower you can see that with a filament and yellow organ, that is stamen, that is called male organ. Understand this one. Okay, this is stamen and male organs, and other one, this one is female organ, that is called carpel. Okay, or here you can see the structure of stamen and carpel nicely. The structure of stamen, that this filament and anther, with these two part, the structure is become stamen. Understand? But in carpel, if you can see structure of carpel, you can see that from the lower side, that is ovary wall. Okay, that is ovary wall, and inside the ovary, that are ovule. Okay, and this thin and big structure, that is style, and upside it is stigma. Okay, understand? And learn the spelling of name. Okay, so these are the reproductive organs in flowering parts. Now we study about pollination. What is this pollination? So transfer of pollen grains from the anther to stigma of a flower is called pollination. Okay, now we'll go in the structure again, that flowering part, and I will make you understand. Yes, in this structure, the anther and stamen and carpel. Okay, pollen grains are found in on anther. Okay, where? On anther. So when pollen grains are reach from anther to stigma, and then stigma to ovary to meet the ovule. Okay, and that process when the pollen grains are going in, on stigma, that is called pollination. Okay, what is the definition? The transfer of pollen grains from anther से जो pollen grain जाते हैं कहाँ? To the stigma of flower के stigma तक, that is called pollination. Okay, that is called pollination. Transfer of pollen grain anther to stigma, that is called pollination. Now pollen grains are transferred by wind, वाटर और इंसेक्ट. पोलन ग्रेन किसी भी तरह से ट्रांसफ़र हो सकते हैं, वो हवा से, वाटर से, इंसेक्ट से, कैसे भी. ओके, एंड इट इफ पोलन ग्रेन्स लैंड्स ऑन अ स्टिग्मा of the same flower. Okay, this you need to understand. pollen grains yes, pollen grains are transferred by wind, water and insect. Okay, transfer from anther to stigma. Understand these terms. And if pollen grains lands on a stigma, if pollen grains lands on stigma of same flower, it is called self pollination. Okay, अगर pollen grains same flower के stigma पर ठहर जाते हैं, ओके, तो दैट इज सेल्फ पोलिनेशन. बट इफ पोलन ग्रेन्स ऑफ वन फ्लावर लैंड ऑन स्टिग्मा ऑफ अनदर फ्लावर, दूसरे फ्लावर के स्टिग्मा पर ट्रांसफर होते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड क्रॉस पोलिनेशन. अंडरस्टैंड? सो once again I am make you understand, pollen grains are transferred by wind, water or insect. Okay, and if pollen grains land on the stigma of the same flower, that is called self pollination. Or if pollen grains of one flower lands on the stigma of another flower, it is called cross pollination. Understand? In this picture also you can see. Now we'll study about fertilization. Now what is fertilization? Fertilization, the process of fusion of the male and female gametes to form a zygote is called fertilization. Okay. After fertilization, the zygote develop into an embryo, the ovule then develop into the seed, and the ovary develop into a fruit. Understand? Now, in fertilization process, the male and female gametes, when the pollen grains transfer from anther to stigma, okay, that is pollination. And when the pollen grains, see here in this structure, when the pollen grains from the stigma, they are entry into ovary. Okay, and that male gametes, pollen grains are male gametes, and that meet with the female gamete, that is ovule, they form zygote. And this process when male gametes and female gametes to by the process of fusion of male and female gamete form a zygote, that is called fertilization. Okay, that is the process of fertilization. And after the fertilization, the zygote develop into embryo. The zygote develop into embryo, that is called embryo. जब वो zygote में develop हो जाएगा, that is embryo. And the ovule then develop into seed. और जितने भी ovule हैं वो seed में develop हो जाएंगे, और ovary जो है वो fruit में develop हो जाएगी. Understand? This is the process of fertilization. So, and tomorrow we will study about seed dispersal. Okay, so in this video I have taught you the pollination, fertilization and the reproductive part of flower. Okay, so read from your chapter also, that is also good for your better understanding. So tomorrow we'll continue the next topic. Till then, you study well. Okay, bye. Thank you very much.